Listen, we are talking nonsense, which must mean it is time for yet another top 5. We are rounding out this week's top 5 list, meaning we have the entire top 5 of what we're most grateful that we did accomplish last year. Now, it's been fun looking ahead, right? This is the last time that we're going to see each other before the new year kicks off, and that's when resolutions are underway.
Right.
Right, and that's what last week was for.
Yeah, and it's important to look forward and wonder, what are we going to accomplish? What goals do I want to set for next year? But why even worry about what you're going to do next year without also appreciating what you did this year? You need to set the right foundation, because it's like, well, should we focus on what I wanted to do this year and then I didn't, so we'll focus for next year? No. Let's talk about what we did right and what we can build on. As well as maybe a couple things that we could add, which is what we made our list for last week.
I love it. It's exactly like when you get constructive criticism, like at work or in relationships or whatever. You always do like a compliment sandwich.
I was just about to say the compliment sandwich.
Yeah, but you have to treat yourself with that kind of decency too. Like you're doing great here. Maybe we can improve right here, but also this is really great, and I want to really highlight, this is happening. And honestly, like everybody recognizes it for what it is, and you know that the point of it is to tell you what you need to work on. But there is something to be said about getting that affirmation of, hey, this is really good. You know something to work on is coming, because it always is. Nobody's perfect, and we can always continue to improve upon ourselves. However, getting that affirmation, it really does soften the blow.
It does too. I mean, for me personally too, it empowers you a little bit. Be like, oh, okay, that's awesome. That at least there are things that I'm doing that's working,
and you recognize,
and it makes you happy. Be like, well, then, heck yeah, let's keep making things better.
Absolutely. All right. Without further ado, let's dive into our top 5 segment. I think you went first yesterday, so I'll do mine first today, and I hope that this updated here. It did.
It did.
Look, it says 2023.
A New Year's miracle.
Oh my goodness! Just in time to wrap up our week. Okay, so this is again our top 5. This is my edition. Favorite accomplishments that I personally accomplished in 2023. My number 1 favorite accomplishment: starting therapy. That is my absolute favorite thing that I have done for myself, for my son, our family together, the new chapter that we are embarking on, and just mental health in general.
Right.
My relationships throughout my life are significantly healthier. They're better. I know how to use the tools in my toolbox now, my emotional toolbox, I guess, to move through hard emotions or difficult conversations and have those. Sit in those, experience and feel those, and instead of, I naturally tend to
the fight or flight, like, oh.
Yep. Yep. My natural instinct is shove down, turn off, run away. It's like when somebody knocks unexpected and you don't know who it is, so you turn off the lights and just wait quietly until maybe they leave. That's what I would kind of do with emotions. We're not good. Maybe we freeze. No one will come.
Whatever you're selling.
Right. And so starting back into therapy and being able to now, not on the other side of it, because it's a continuing process, but now confidently be able to say, I can stand here in whatever emotions I'm feeling, feel those emotions, and communicate effectively about those emotions. And it's made all of my relationships so much better.
And, we love talking about breaking cycles and stuff, and that's such a healthy mindset to have, especially while you've got a kiddo around.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're going to see that, they're going to absorb that, and they're going to bring that on, without, the extra help. Which
exactly. And I mean, my son's a toddler, and so he doesn't know how to emotionally regulate.
No, they got big feelings.
Right. All
big
the time.
Feelings.
All the time. But I need to know how to emotionally regulate myself in a healthy way, because I'm setting an example, but also one of us has to, and it's not going to be him. It's not going to be the toddler. And so I'm glad that I'm able to be like, hey, those are big feelings. And it's helped me in parenting. So much, not just by keeping myself cool and like working through, and
because the response is important as much as you want to be like, what are you doing?
But we don't, just take the chocolate for the 75th time, I don't care, whatever it is. But being able to like get on his level and like talk with him, not necessarily through the emotions, but kind of laying the groundwork, as much as a 2-year-old can understand and comprehend.
Exactly.
It's just been great all around.
Yay.
There's not a single place in my life that therapy hasn't touched that I've been so grateful for. Okay, so that is my number 1 and my top 1, absolutely. Number 2, completing year 2 on East Texas now. I'm so excited to be able to have almost 2 years. I'm squishing the numbers a little bit. I started in February is technically my 2 years, but still for the better part of 2 years. My other job, I was an actress from the time that I was 14 to the time I was 26, 27. And so it was a while, right? But they were all just like very staccato moments of a show here for a week, or here for a month or whatever, and then you have to like remake those work friendships, and they're all just such short-lived sections of time that you're working on a project together. So to have 2 years under my belt with a third underway, this is a surprise. I will be here for another year. I am super excited to be able to develop these relationships, to dive into a career that I'm building on, together with work friends, and I don't know, it's just been really good. I've really, really enjoyed hanging out with you guys here on the East Texas Now Desk. So that is my second one.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. My third, ending my people-pleasing habits. It goes hand in hand with starting therapy, but Cody, you and I both talked that we are natural people-pleasers.
Yeah. At whatever cost.
at whatever cost, at our own cost, at our own sanity sometimes,
most of the
what
time.
have you. Yeah, most of the time.
As a parent, it's most of the time, yeah.
Exactly. And so to be able to learn and be comfortable in sitting in, no, that's not for me and my family right now.
Right.
Hey, here's clear boundaries, and if you step over them, this is what's going to happen.
Sure.
That kind of thing proved invaluable. Have you found that?
We're working there.
Yeah.
We're getting in there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a hard thing to do, and I feel like it's more of a case-by-case thing for sure, but it's a lot easier. I found as the more kids I have, we're stopping at 3, but 3 nonetheless. It's like, look,
so he says, we'll see.
There's only so much time in the day, so it's like, it's a lot easier just to, rather than like worry about feelings, just be like, look, I understand this, I would like to, but it's just not it's not feasible at this point in time. And so that also helps too, as somebody who is so guilty, because I'm just like, I just want to help. I just want to do things I can to help other people. I mean, I feel like even my job is partly in due to service. If I get to help people with their day or keep them safe during severe weather, but like, oh my goodness, now that we have kids, and like even especially with this work schedule, like I'm in bed by like 6:30 in the evening, so I'm like, I literally can't. Like, I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah.
But that also makes me more excited to where I actually can help out people and do whatever, or like, hey, can you do this? I can actually.
Yeah,
let's go do this. It's
makes
fun.
It more meaningful because you know that you are giving from a filled or a full cup.
Yeah.
You can't pour.
That's such a great way to put it.
I just told a friend this yesterday. You can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
And so if you say yes to everyone, nobody is getting the best version of you. But if you say no in the times where you really just don't have any energy or space or mental capacity to give, the times that you say yes, it's so much more meaningful because you truly mean it. It's not, okay, well, I don't really have anything, and now it's stressed, and now it's this, and they're going to vibe off that too. And so it just isn't.
We're going to make this happen somehow. I don't know how, but it's like,
but it's not the most genuine experience that is possible unless you prioritize, your yeses and your nos, and really mean both of them,
Yeah.
So learning to sit in the no has been incredibly important.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see, what was my number 4? Yes, learning intuitive eating. That was fantastic too. Again, it's just about learning yourself. Tuning in to your body. We talked a whole lot yesterday about eating habits, about how some of them can be so harmful on either side of the spectrum, whether you're overeating or undereating, or if you get obsessive about specific kinds of eating or diet fads. There's all of these different things that you can really lose yourself in and really make your entire identity sometimes. It becomes obsessive. And I think that's kind of the personality I have. So being able to just continuously look inward, even in my eating habits, being intuitive, learning, okay, when am I hungry? What am I hungry for? It's okay to be hungry for that. Yeah. And now let's remember when I'm full, right? You don't have to finish your plate. You don't have to, whatever it is. Just intuitive eating, and that it has really vibed with who I am. I've felt a whole lot better. I have a lot more energy. I've lost some weight. That wasn't the point, but being able to, I don't know, just feel better in my body. I feel more present in my body, and it's been a healthy year for Devyn.
Woohoo, that's awesome.
Yeah, and finally, I'm going to round out with some of my favorites too. I prioritized friendships. Now, this is a really, really big one for me, and it probably is maybe almost tied with starting therapy, is prioritizing friendships, and I did so because of therapy. But being able to develop new relationships, and like I said, it all kind of ties in together, I guess, because I've been here now for 2 years, and have laid the foundation of getting to know people and having these connections with people, and those connections only deepen, with time.
Sure.
And so I moved. So when I was in Rockwell, and I had great friendships because they were there since I was 5. And then you leave high school.
Roots go a little deep.
Right.
Sure.
And I have, that core group of friends. They'll be forever friends from high school, but then you leave. And I went to Los Angeles and I started a whole new group of friends, right? And I was like, okay, these are going to be my people. But then I left and I came back to Texas, and started a whole new chapter. And I think sometimes in the chapter of getting married and having kids and then buying a house, it can be kind of isolating when it comes to friendships.
Sure.
And you don't necessarily have those groups anymore that are exactly in the same chapter, right? Because I got married fairly young, and a lot of my friends weren't doing that.
Right.
And so you find yourself in different chapters, and it's kind of hard to relate to people. And
hey, we're all going out. It's like, cool, I'm going to put my kid to bed now. And
cool, I'm giving my kid a bottle and think,
yeah,
whatever.
no,
And
exactly.
So, and then I don't know, just something about Tyler. I have found magic in other relationships that I've been able to develop here, and it's been incredible. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of this past year. My favorite accomplishments is to be able to have, those dinners and be able to make those memories and be able to know that, if something horrible happens, or I need an emergency, or not necessarily horrible. I don't know why I went, so dark, but like if, oh, can you pick up something from here? Oh, I don't, I'm sick. Can you come,
You've got
fill in for,
you've got people who care about you. You've got a net.
Exactly. And I've made those calls, and I have a health scare and I, need somebody to accompany me to the emergency room, or, whatever it is. I didn't even have to ask, I just told them, hey, I'm going to the emergency room, and a friend showed up, and stayed there and then demanded that I change my caffeine intake, and so because
she
they care.
says with a
Don't say it. Don't say that. Don't say that.
That's a guilty voice. That was a guilty voice.
He was going to say with a Celsius at the desk because I finished it. That's why. Is that why you didn't finish the sentence? Because it's not there anymore? I did the Celsius this morning that he shamed me for. Baby steps on the caffeine intake. But yeah, I think that really is one of my favorite parts of this year. And it goes hand in hand with the first and fifth,
Sure,
right?
yes.
I started therapy. I worked on myself. I realized like I need core friendships. I need relationships in my life. And then I just organically found them and realized that all of these roots go so deep and
but isn't that great
truly
though?
love these people.
Because it wasn't forced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced at all. Came by, surprise, but it's always something that I've kind of craved is having that group of people,
Sure.
having that core people that as soon as you call, they're like, hey, what's up? What do you need? I'm on my way. Let's go. It doesn't
It's your
matter
tribe. It's your
what they were
village.
doing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My tribe, my village, my people. I don't know. I loved it. I'm very grateful for it, and I'm excited to continue to build on all of these for this year. I'm continuing therapy. I'm continuing here on East Texas now, continuing to turn inward to myself and see where I have a surplus that I can give, where I might have some areas that I can't right now, but I'm going to refill myself, take care of myself, and then be able to do that by using my friendships and my relationships that I've developed here in East Texas.
And that's a great thing too, because you get to think about like what you've accomplished, but again, like there's no reason that has to stop. Like this is something that you can carry on because it's part of you now.
It's things that I started this year that I'm so excited to see carry into the new year.
And that's such a mentality to have for anything that anybody wants to change. Going into any kind of new year, so many resolutions are like, I'm going to do this thing, and it's like that's not even who you are as a person. And if you want to change to that direction, sure, but this is a cruise ship, right? You're not turning on a dime.
Exactly.
So don't set yourself up for failure. Think about stuff that you can improve for yourself first, and then see where that takes you, rather than being like, all right, well, I'm going to run a 5K or a half marathon in February. If you've never run before, that's not happening.
Can't make it down my street, but next year it's going for the whole marathon.
We'll get there. Let's take baby steps.
Puffin and puffin. Speaking of some baby steps, I think that leads you to your first one.
What a clean segue. Yes. So this is easily, a lot of times when we do these top fives, we don't have any kind of specific order.
Right.
This one is easily the best thing, the happiest thing that I've ever done. The thing that has brought me so much joy is being a father. I get to see myself in these kids, but I also get to see them turn into their own little people. I have a 13-year-old. I did start out a little younger than most, but it made me who I am. I am so thankful for who I am because of my kids, and I hope that they know that. But yes, we brought our third daughter, our last child into the world. I have my sweet Sarah, my sweet Ava, and now my sweet baby Eleanor.
Which, by the way, you posted a new photo of yesterday.
Yes.
And melted me.
Oh my gosh, she's just such a.
She's got this like smirk.
Because she's mischievous.
Yes.
You know,
like she's like, I'm fun.
And it's so fun too. Like as a third-time parent too, like that. I don't know. I see like little things in her already. I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do to me? What is going on with this?
Because she's already like, hey, and you're like, all right. Sure.
I know she's gonna be such a goober because like, you know, my Sarah, like now she's a teenager, so some of that's being hidden away, but she was just this like, this character. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's me. And then now Ava, I see she's 6 now, and so she's just this like little goober too. And I'm glad that there's these like fun little just sprinkles that the kids are showing between all of us. Hopefully more of my wife is going to be in our kids because you don't want to be me. But no, it's the best thing ever. We love our children so much. That is our core focus. And that was the best thing this year.
Absolutely.
Was being daddy to number 3 now.
There we go.
Number 2 is joining a gym. I've been very, very focused on my physical health as well as my mental health too. But the big one for this year was just getting better regimens and almost losing an eyeball to some resistance bands. Working out at home, I go, all right.
I got the photo.
It was bad. Yeah. It was. I can't. So thankful to see. But
I should have been on this list.
Oh my goodness gracious. So
for not losing an eye.
Yeah, not having to rock the iPad.
Yeah.
That's right. So that one was a big one for me. Getting to be part of the gym culture to some degree, very accepting. And, you know, it can be intimidating from the outside, but once you get in, you just realize everyone's working on themselves and they want to be the best themselves that they can be. And so that was a big fun one for me.
That's
so
incredible.
Look forward to that.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's number 2. Number 3 is totally giving up alcohol. This one is a big one.
Yep.
A lot of people are excited for the new year. I'm excited because January 1st will be 6 months fully sober.
Ooh.
And I'm so excited for that. I was just noticing small little habits that I was really developing. I'm a sick drunk, so I'm like, I hated getting drunk, but I was drinking frequently, almost every single day, and my dad did that a lot, and I lost my dad to alcoholism a few years ago, and it was very, very upsetting. And we just had a lot of problems with addiction in our family, both sides of our family. So it was really big to break cycles.
An example.
Exactly. And so I didn't want my kids to see me wither away like I had to from my dad. And I wasn't there yet, but who knows, 10, 15 years from now. So I was like, you know what? I don't need this, so let's just see if I can stick with it. So July 1st, I noticed, because it's me, and of course it's got to be something ridiculous. I was like, Jewel Dry, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing. And I looked it up, and it is in Australia. And it's like how we have Dry January for a lot of people. Well, they do that in Australia. They try to do a month of sobriety, kind of help people get that going on.
Okay.
And I believe it also benefits a charity as well.
Well, and that makes sense because that's the same season, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, they're flipped. So when we have awful summers, they're freezing their tails off. Because they're in a different hemisphere.
Right.
But yeah, no, this is one of my most proud of, other than being a father, is being able to give that up. And I feel so clean, I feel so clear, and I'm so excited for it. I lost my brother to addiction from his was heroin, but everyone has their own affliction. Right. So to be able to kick mine out and still stay strong with that, I'm very, very excited for that. That's a big one. Yeah.
Cannot overestimate how proud I am of that decision.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very happy with it. Something else that's fun, because I've been talking about my health, is experimenting and learning more in the kitchen. I tell you, there was some stumbles and some difficulty, especially with trying to be eating cleaner. Man, oh man, did we eat some awful things over the years. I mean, just so much. I was putting ketchup in this cauliflower rice and just whatever I could to get it down. I'm like, this sucks. I do not want to do this anymore. So I was like, what can I eat? What can I do this? And I found out, I'm like, no, I don't just need to be healthy. I need to be a healthy human. And humans are going to love food and we're going to enjoy food. Right. And so I found
it's an art in the kitchen.
It really is.
Look at any cooking class or cooking show. It's an art. It's a form of self-expression. And it feels limiting when you don't take advantage of that.
No, and so I remember last summer, actually, we started watching Guys Grocery Games a lot more.
That's a good one.
And same with, diners, drive-ins, and dives. But at the same time,
all Guy Fieri's. That's the only kind of
we're a Fieri household.
Interesting.
Let's just say, if Flavortown ever needs a meteorologist, I'm your guy.
You're there.
But it kind of got the cooking bug in me, and I always enjoyed cooking for others, but never so much for me. My wife is a vegetarian. Very recently, just started eating fish. Our kiddos obviously are not going to be eating the same chicken legs and chicken breasts that I'm eating every day.
You don't eat fish.
I do not.
It really is completely different.
For real. So I'm like cooking 3 meals a day, and a lot of times for I guess now 5 of us, but I was like, how do I get, not only have more fun, but get more adventurous? And so that's just led to so many things. I have been making so much more, not only healthy, tasty food for me, but better food for my family. And that's been really, really fun.
And food that you're proud of. Because like I said, it's self-expression, and you're able to do that. And that's a way to show your family love.
100%. And it's that act of service that is like my biggest pride and joy. Like for Christmas, I made my wife's parents, my sweet in-laws, which are just, basically blood to me. I love them so much. I made them steak and eggs for breakfast, and it was probably the best New York strips that I've ever pan-seared. And I had the whole garlic butter sauce going on. It was just everything. And what made the most to me, one of the best Christmas presents was the next day, my father-in-law texted me. He's like, I just want to let you know that I'm still thinking about that steak, and it was one of the best breakfast I've ever had. And I was just like, yes! Just the best. It was just the best. Getting to learn more about that, it's the best thing. Literally, my Christmas presents was some mixing bowls, so I could do more baking. I've been making some really bomb cookies. I get to do that today, actually, later. I
said with a secret ingredient.
And that would be syrup instead of vanilla extract. I know it sounds crazy, but it worked out so well. And a new knife set, which I'm so excited for.
So professional.
I know. I mean it too. These are legit too.
His hair's just gonna slowly start getting spiky,
oh my goodness.
I love it. All right. So then today's final one.
The final one is. Here it comes. The last one goes, accepting myself for who I am. I did mention that in addition to my physical health, I wanted to focus a lot on my mental health as well.
Absolutely.
And just like how you kind of talked about spreading yourself too thin, I feel like I was doing that a lot as well. I'm real bad about that. And part of that's okay because I am a people pleaser. I do like to serve as much as I can. That's just what I do. But I also need to accept that and face that. And so that's been one thing that I've been focusing on. Yes, I am.
Same. I think that's a thing.
You just, you put it on yourself. Sometimes life puts stuff on you. And so then you just carry that and be like, well, then we're just going to take care of everything. Why not?
And it's definitely something that you work through, again, in therapy, because that's a trauma response. Because you don't want to depend on other people.
No,
you don't want to be vulnerable for somebody to have to come through for you. So you're just like, I got it. Actually, I'm going to do it all. Do you need anything? I'm going to just go ahead and put that on my back too, because that means that you'll like me if I do these things for you.
I do, 100%.
And it's also
hate feeling like a burden.
Always.
I dislike that so much. That's why I'm like, how about I help you instead of you help me? Because let's just not even worry about what's going on over here.
Exactly. And I completely get that, which is why my fifth one today about prioritizing friendships and relationships out there threw me for such a loop, because that is a group of people now that I have allowed myself to rely on in times when I needed it. Going through this last year, I've needed to rely on people emotionally, come through, sometimes physically I need a ride, or I need help moving, or, whatever it is. And I have allowed myself for the first time in a very, 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 very long time to rely on other people. And they have come through, and it's terrifying because I completely understand what you're saying. But man, it's been so good. What a year we've had.
We've grown a lot, and heck, you're 30 this year, right? Yeah, I'm 32. We're just entering truly the prime, and so it's gonna be a good prime.
Oh yeah, it is. Boom. Your 30 is looking up. I've heard everyone has always told me your 30s are the best decade of your life. And then people get into their 40s and say, no, the 40s are the best year. So
I have also heard that.
Right.
I'm like, good, let's keep that energy.
And I love it. I love continuing to look forward. 20s were fantastic. I loved my 20s, but it was a time of a lot of tumultuous, what am I going to do? Where am I going to land? Who am I? Trying to kind of...
A lot of figuring stuff out.
Yeah. And it's almost like you're trying to fake it till you make it for a good long while there. And you know where you want to be, but you're not there yet. So you're just like really, really working hard to try and lay that foundation.
Yeah.
And I feel like the 30s is not a coast because you're still working towards it, but you're like, no, I know who I am now. And like, you don't have to fake it.
You're embracing who you are.
Exactly. Like your final one. Another high five.
Boom.
Y'all, I'm
Full
so
circle.
excited for 2024 because 2023 was a really good year. I want to go to the live chat here because Yvonne from Palestine is spitting some truth in our live chat here. She says, no is the healthiest word a person can say. It is health for as long as it is said in love with respect. Absolutely. And
I
then
love
she said,
that.
I know, right? A quote from the Girl Scouts. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, the other is gold. Learned this 70 years ago and still practice
Oh my goodness.
today. I love it.
This has been a good week for quotes.
Yeah, it has. I love a good quote. I'm all about the quotes. Give me them all. What was the one that you said?
Oh, dang it. Now I'm being put on this. I'm being put on the thing again. Yes, because I believe it was a quote from the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Is that what it was?
In more words or less. Yeah. There's there's always going to be more bread than butter, so you can't stretch yourself too thin.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much bread there is. There's only so much butter to go
There we
around.
go. See,
I think that's what you said.
There was that sounds better.
And we'll end it there, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in for our final wrap-up installment of our top favorite accomplishments that we have had in 2023. We'll have a new segment coming at you on Tuesday next week because, again, East Texas Now is dark for the new year. I hope you have a fantastic new year. We'll join you right after this break. Stay tuned. You've been watching Say It, Cody.
East Texas Now.
There you go.